Silent Hill 4 with garlips.
Hello? Am I live? Hello, my name is Garlips. I'm a speedrunner. I'm quite mediocre. Welcome to Silent Hill 4, a really scary game that we're going to run through so quickly you won't be scared. Don't worry. I'm here with you. We'll skip every cutscene. It'll be fine. Joining me is my good friend Axton10_61.
Sup?
Yeah, sup. We actually, we both started running this game just over a year ago. I think actually I started on April 1st as a joke, and look at where the joke has got to now. I'm speedrunning at marathons, so...
longest running joke in April Fool's history.
Yeah. So we are, well, without further ado, we're going to get straight on with Silent Hill 4. So I will just hop out the options menu. We're going to start time when I load the game. We load from a save just because it's a way of skipping some cutscenes that are unskippable. It doesn't really affect the time at all. So time will start when I select easy. So 3, 2, 1, go. And we're off to the races. This is Silent Hill 4. If you've played this game before, casually, you probably had a bad time. Don't worry, it happens to all of us.
Or a great time. I had a great time.
Yeah, the game can be quite mean casually the first couple times because everyone complains about the escort mission in the second half of the game. Everyone complains about some of the enemies, the ghosts. But overall, I think it's a very good game. I think it's highly underrated as a Silent Hill.
It's a fantastic Silent Hill game, and the escort thing isn't an issue, and also the ghosts are amazing because it increases the terror of being chased constantly, which we all love in Resident Evil 2 Remake now, right? With the Mr. X,
absolutely.
Right?
It was pioneered here.
Exactly. You see it here first. But yeah, the beginning of this is really black and white flashes as we just move from room to room as fast as possible with loading screens in between.
Yeah, some rooms you will actually not see because we're facing the door when we come in, and we just hammer the mouse button like there's no tomorrow to get straight through. Like this corridor coming up, you won't even see it. It's gone.
Yep, it was there. There was a corridor there, it's gone now. But there's a hole that is here.
Yes, lots of holes in this game. Lots of going through holes. This is the only one that you'll see because hopefully the rest will be cutscenes that I'll remember to skip.
And it's important that you see this one because I want you to imagine Henry moving like a snake through this concrete hole. Just shimmying through, not like Solid Snake where he's got the arms in front of him. You don't see the arms. He's just moving like sliding through, and it gets faster and faster as the game progresses, so he just gets really, really good at it.
It does loop the loops and everything. It gets really quite extravagant.
I love this game.
I do. So this is the first world. We have our hub world, which is our apartment room. We can't leave our apartment room. There's a sign on the door that says "Don't go out, Walter," and it's been signed in blood, I think, and also there are chains across the door. So the only way that we can interact with people outside of our apartment room is to go through the various holes and enter these separate worlds. And as time goes on, we meet people in these worlds, and they suffer terrible fate. We pretty much can't save all but one of them succumb. But we will keep that other one alive, you bet.
Yeah. Question, actually, or something to observe. Why do you not have anything in your hand right now, Garlips?
Oh, that's a good point, actually. So, the reason why we don't equip something for, like, literally half of the game is for a trick later on that involves skipping past these weird leeches on the ground. Mm-hmm. I'll cover it more when we get there, but we don't actually need to kill a lot of enemies in this run at all. We're kind of pacifists. We only kill what we have to. But we are going to kill the final boss, Walter. Walter is the main enemy of this game, and he's a bit of a dick, but
yeah.
He's
all
kind of lovable
considered.
all the same.
Sympathetic background aside, he is a murderer, and he murders a lot of people, and he doesn't feel bad about it ever. So it's all bad. He's a bad guy.
That's true. However, he does run around with a chainsaw and a gun laughing. So
he knows how to have a good time, but he's still a bad guy.
Plus points, negative points. It works out.
Would prefer he was a good guy that knew how to have a bad time, but we have the reverse. He's a bad guy that knows how to have a good time.
Yeah. Sometimes even helps out and shoots enemies for us if they get in the way.
Sometimes.
So it's cool.
He also hates bugs. We hate bugs, he hates bugs.
He
He'll
does.
go after bugs with a chainsaw and a pistol.
Ooh, just missed a dog hit there. So yeah, basically this half of the game is based around meeting the various characters, as I was saying, and unfortunately, Walter is a serial killer, and he has, well, he's worked his way through a number of people already, and he's only going to get to the rest of these people that we meet. See Cynthia there? Poor Cynthia. She hasn't got much longer.
No, she doesn't. This is a speed run, so her time is incredibly short.
Yeah. And I mean, a sticking point for some is that the second half of the game is pretty much retreading these worlds, but there are some differences in the layouts and things have changed. It's actually really good storytelling, I think.
And I'd like to point out as well that every Silent Hill has a retread section, but everyone doesn't like Silent Hill 4 specifically for its retread section, like it's new. But it's not new. You always go back to like the nothing or the nowhere versions of other places in Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3, so this is really no different.
Yeah.
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 Just wanted to throw that out there. This is my one opinion for the speedrun. Now I'm going to reel it in.
Well,
This is probably the hardest part to learn as a beginner is how to snake your way through the subway trains. You can get really lose some time here.
I actually have my splits open, and I just did one of those trains the fastest I've ever done it. Which is
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Because it's
that
an auto
marathon
splitter
luck.
that's literally per room. So it's my sum of best is incredibly optimized and way above what my actual PB is. Anyway, we're going to lose Cynthia here. She wasn't really with us per se in the same way that our neighbor Eileen will be later on. We didn't really have to look after her at all.
Yeah, Cynthia is very easy to escort because she doesn't need any escorting whatsoever. She knows right where to die.
Yeah, exactly. So convenient.
Yeah. I love this hallway though. Like all the red, the swirling camera. It really brings out like this tension that I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's always tense in there. It's always creepy. It's always setting the tone for the future of the horror in this game.
That's very true. I love the camera in this game. The one problem I have is that the control method is slightly different compared to the other Silent Hills. So you actually move relative to where you are on screen. And because camera angles can change quite suddenly, that can actually be... It's incredibly difficult to learn the movement, like, to be refined in a speedrun.
But that's part of speedrun fun, if you ask me. You know, the challenges are not simply doing enough damage and dodging the bad guys, but learning how to play the game so well that those things don't stop you.
Yeah, this is the Wall Men. We visit them 3 times during this run. This is the first time. I would say Wallman 1 is probably the worst Wallman section. I'm getting hit quite a few times, which is
It is. Like when you get hit in the Wallman 2 section, you're just still going down the escalator anyway, so it's fine. But here you can lose a lot of time. Like world records can easily be shattered by any one of these guys. And the crazy thing,
the other day, and I lost it here.
yeah, the crazy thing is that sometimes they swing up to 7 times.
Yeah.
So when you're waiting for them to just stop swinging and you're playing safe, you could still lose the run because it's still swinging because it just doesn't know how to quit.
Also, that the attack that the down swipe they do has a crazy hitbox that lasts way after the animation is finished. So look out for that.
Yeah. It'll look like he's done, but he's not. The malice is still there.
Yeah. Well, we're already done with Subway 1. We're on to Forest 1, which is very straightforward. It's just running from A to B, pretty much. Lots of woos in the background.
That's true, yeah. It keeps the tension going, even though you don't really see like a wolf pack or anything. There are a few dogs, but the sound design in Silent Hill games have always been the real tension for me because you hear a lot more things than you actually see.
That's true.
Also bugs.
You lose a lot of the atmosphere in a speedrun, obviously, but I would highly, if you're interested in this at all, I would highly urge you to play it casually. It's available on GOG. It's one of the few original Silent Hill games that's actually really easy to get hold of. So
yeah, it's actually very accessible for speedrunning and for playing casually. There are some things that are missing in the GOG version, but they don't really affect gameplay. It's just a less complete version because you lose a haunting.
yeah,
Or
haunting
maybe 7, I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
actually shout out to the Silent Hill Speedrunner Discord, where I learned pretty much everything that I know. But also, apparently, someone was looking through the code of the game, and don't quote me, but I heard that apparently those hauntings are in the game, they're just not coded properly, so they don't show up. But they are there, so someone needs to fix it. Do a mod.
Yeah, and they weren't removed or anything. They're just, someone needs to fix it. I hope somebody does one day, because then, the GOG version will just become the best version of this game, and with its accessibility.
How much?
That's nice.
How much of a meme would it be if Konami come back, but just to do that?
That would be amazing. That would be a meme-zing. Sorry, I can't help myself with wordplay. I can't help myself. Oh, that's an easy spot to lose time too. You see young Walter, it looks like a cutscene started, but if you don't move, you just stare at each other until you do move.
There are definitely a couple of rooms in this game where you have to... Oh, wow, okay, thanks. That doesn't usually happen.
That was an attack of opportunity.
It certainly was. That's Stephen Garland, I think, is his name.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's Steve. Good old Steve. Steve's a good name. Even if that's not his name, that's his name now. His name is Stephen Garland. Hey, Steve.
Right now, we're going to give this man a milkshake. He's been waiting. Here it is.
It's like a handshake, but you just give him chocolate milk instead.
And we get a spade in return. I mean, it's
exactly.
Almost an
Everyone
even
knows
trade.
this. Everyone knows this. The true milkshake. Trade the chocolate milk for a spade.
My health
real
is
gesture
not
of friendship.
Simon. I need to keep a bit of an eye on my health because this room is particularly nasty.
Yeah, this is where I guess the wolf pack would be if they were wolves. They're just weird panther-sounding dogs with long tongues that drain blood. They're pretty unsettling.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to use
This is where Henry gets a hand.
We actually move away before we even pick up the item. How cool's that? We're gone. I might actually... I'm not going to waste time in my hotel, my apartment room, but you do actually heal for the first half of the game while you're in your apartment, which is really handy. And I might actually just take a couple seconds longer than I would just to make sure I've actually got a bit of health. But even just being here will hopefully help with the health enough to make sure I'm not going to get killed. We have to drop this key off, you see.
I'm trying to remember. Is there any real threat from here on out? Because
you wouldn't think so, but that room with the dogs is brutal.
Yeah.
You tend to get hit at least 3 times in there, if not more, and if it's a bad day. I've got half health though, so I should be good. Usually it's if the wallmen have really taken their toll on me, and today they weren't so bad. I mean, they weren't great, but they weren't bad.
Now, we actually had to go back to the box to drop stuff off, but also the key we just picked up out of the ground that we dug up, that key has to go in the item box. If you don't, this forest becomes an infinite maze.
Yeah.
It's one of the clever puzzles you get to solve in this game, which I do think is clever, actually.
It
makes
is.
you think outside of the box and in the room.
It is, but it is a bit of a beginner's trap in that you're not quite... You don't know you're in a puzzle until you've been in the puzzle a while, I think.
Yeah.
You're like, why does this room keep going forever? Oh.
Honestly, in my very first casual run, I got in that forest, and I'm like, well, this is scary. I'm going to go back to my room, which is where I wanted to be in the first place, so really it didn't bother me at all. I'm spooked out.
Nah, we should be good now. Our health's back in the green as well.
Good. Most good.
So yeah, unfortunately, we recently met Jasper for a second hand in that chocolate milk, and now unfortunately, it's his time.
He has a hot date.
He does. We're going to be skipping his cutscene, but I always like to point out that even though I skip it as quickly as possible, you can still hear him make like an ooh-ah sound. So we're going to be a moment of silence just to hear the ooh-ah sound, because it's really something. Here it comes. There it goes.
Oh, we don't get to see him be on fire. Anyway, he lights himself on fire, and that's why I said hot date. Without knowing that, there's no punchline. I have to bring it up. I'm sorry.
Well, either that or it's going to pay off later, because you'll see what happens to Jasper. All of these people,
yeah,
are actually
if you're
going to
watch
show
the
up
whole
later.
speed run,
because they're dead, but they're not gone.
yeah, they're not gone. This is the water prison, which, if you imagine like a tower of like circular discs, which we're running around inside, and it can actually turn with mechanisms that like move the rooms around, and it was actually double used as an orphanage, so it's a really horrible place.
Yeah, the lore in this game is pretty wild. I highly recommend that you play the game casually and find it all for yourself. But yeah, this was an orphanage run by some very shady people in Silent Hill. And also, like Axe said, it's cylindrical in nature, but also all of the rooms inside that, like, inner cylinder are divided like a pizza. So there are like 8 or so rooms in the center. Yeah, we love pizza. But,
Shoutouts to pizza.
Shoutouts to pizza. We've always got to fit one in somewhere. But this puzzle coming up also leads to a lot of pulled hair, casually, I would say.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Because there's a light that needs to shine from the top of the water tower to the bottom of the water tower. So first you go to the top to turn on that light, and then you go down to the bottom to climb a ladder to go back to the top, and then you spin valves to line up the one light that's lit in one of the cell rooms, so it beams light all the way down to the basement. Because of course, you know. And the reason we do that is so that you can see the number pad on the door you need to use to escape. Otherwise, you just couldn't possibly guess what those numbers are.
It is possible to align the holes in such a way that you fall down the prison to the room that you need to be in, but the light is not coming through the hole. And that's a run killer.
That's a run killer. I did that once. It was hilarious because I got down like, why is it dark in here? Oh, well, I'm sure it'll be fine.
I didn't even know that could happen until it happened to me.
Is there time for a quick donation?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely, yes.
We have $10 from our previous runner, Quacksilver. She says, as promised, courtesy of Nosk, towards killing some animals. Go Garlips, close out the day strong. That of course goes towards safer frames on our Metroid poll.
That's fantastic.
Lovely. Thank you.
You keeping that the count in mind there, Garlips?
Yeah, so it's 2 upstairs and 4 downstairs. I used to have real trouble remembering this.
Yeah. And if you're like watching chat or engaging in conversation, it's easy to just stop counting and forget where you were, and then the entire run's over. Good job.
I'm also doing like a buffer here to bring the fade up quicker by pressing escape. You can actually skip the whole cutscene by pressing escape, but the timing is so tricky. I've only managed to do it a couple of times. I need to practice. It's one of those like super skills, you know?
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I don't speedrun this game like competitively. I just refuse to do those kinds of tricks. It saves a half of a frame.
32nd in the world, baby.
Those, I mean, like, I love to play a speedrun well and have fun, but when it comes down to those half a frame saves, like, over, like, a long period of time that really do matter, I just can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it.
I'm just not consistent enough for that stuff. But yeah,
that's what separates the wheat from the chaff.
It does. But yeah, you can see now that we're jumping down these holes. We've got the light that we need, so everything is correct and fine and good. You didn't even meet Andrew because we ran past him in such a way that you didn't even see him, and now he's going to die. Oh dear.
And the password for this is 0302, which our room number is 302. So our room number is the password. Wouldn't that be
Very
creepy?
nice.
If
Easy
like
to
you
remember.
just found a strange numpad and it was like your room number, just by coincidence. Who did that? Who set that way?
I've got news for you, Axe. Silent Hill, pretty strange place.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, I heard it was a quiet resort town, so I'm kind of surprised with how strange it is.
Yeah. What's the current memeage? Someone busted a fat vape and now Silent Hill is covered in fog.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem with a series that's essentially been dead for at least 10 years is that there are plenty of memes and no new games to go around.
Yeah, we just pass the same dead corpse around and laugh at it together. That's how we do this. You know, my favorite part about this sword that you pick up is how many times you refuse to pick it up, Garlips, in the speed run, and how often I kept telling you you should do it. It makes me feel so good every time you pick it up. Now.
There are these things in the game called Swords of Obedience, and basically what they do is you can use them if you down one of these ghosts. These ghosts are the victims of Walter Sullivan, and they will pursue you through walls, doors, everything.
Yes. It's the best.
And yeah, you can use the swords. If you knock down a ghost, you can use the sword to pin it in place. And there are a certain number of swords in the game. I think there are maybe 4 in the game. Don't quote me on that. Losing my Silent Hill cred here, but I think
there's
it's 4.
5. I'm pretty sure there's 5. Pretty sure there's 5. One, it's kind of hard to find, so it's kind of like you don't really worry about that one, and you don't really need any of them at all. So. It just boils down to the number of swords that you do find regularly, I guess. But there is 5, I believe.
Oh my goodness. Excuse me, everybody. I need these. This pet shop has also been giving me grief recently.
Doggies.
They're just hungry.
Yeah,
it's
that's
okay.
all. Henry's the only meat they've seen in who knows how long. It's not their fault.
Yeah. But just to recap, so the sword, we only use one sword in the run, and it's to pin a certain ghost that has a key item.
Yes.
I thought, because there's a free sword at the end of Subway 2, sorry. I thought, oh, that's the sword to take because it's free, which means we keep the ghost in place, and that ghost won't hassle us for the rest of the run. But turns out, items in this game, unlike any other Silent Hill game where you can kind of carry infinite items, there's a limit. There's a hard limit of 10. So, and that's key items, guns, everything, even ammo.
Yeah.
So, the problem is, Forest 2, there's trying to get on that ladder. There's a puzzle that requires 5 items plus another item to leave Forest 2. So at least 6 items or slots need to be free. And if you pick up that sword, it's just 1 too many. You would have to go to a hole to drop off some items, and it's just you don't want that. So you were right about the sword accident. Okay.
That whole conversation was so like morally fulfilling for me. I really like that. Here's Grandma. She has a golf club.
Excuse me, ma'am.
We just call her Grandma. There's no real reason. It's just I think Garlips said it once, and it just stuck forever.
It's just a fun thing.
Yeah, that's one of the fun things about speedruns is when you can just sort of like plug in your own lore that you just make up along the way.
Yeah.
I think one of the famous ones is classic RE2. There's a zombie they call Misty because she looks like the character Misty from Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's early in the game. Yeah.
She's in the remake as well, I think.
Yeah, I think they have to. Misty is lore now.
Nope. I've messed up the code. That's alright.
Oh no.
Run over. Only kidding.
Run over, yep. Nice seeing you all. Thanks for being part of the charity. We're all done here.
The fun thing about this door is you visit it twice with 2 different codes. So I was trying to put in a mishmash of 2 codes because my brain not working.
Yeah. So one of the frame perfect tricks you have to do is if you can bring an item that you can't use, but you try to use it during that small cutscene with the scream.
Yeah. And
you can actually skip that cutscene and save yourself a second and a half, which really does matter in the long run when you're trying to go for world records.
Technically, it's not a cutscene skip in that the cutscene still plays, but you can move. And the problem with that is the cutscene, as you saw, looks up the shaft of the stairs. So you can kind of run around, but you can't see where you are. And you know it's going well if you can hear Henry going upstairs, because this is Henry's cardio section of the game. He's just...
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't getting enough running. He's got to do the Stairmaster as well.
This is when, if you're speedrunning on your channel, this is when you start dropping all your links, your donations, your tip information, or just read up chat and catch up to what's going on, because you have a lot of stairs to climb.
It's true, and it's always longer than you think it is.
Yeah, we're not done yet. No, there's the ceiling, so we are definitely done.
Yeah, when you see the ceiling,
Can't go
you know
higher
you're
than
good.
this.
And in we go. We didn't even meet Richard Braintree, and he's been and gone, unfortunately. Bless him.
Oh yeah, Richard Braintree. Yeah, that's that's the cutscene that you would see if we didn't skip it. He's a mad one. He's one of the most terrifying ghosts in the game, I think, because of the erratic electrocution and movements that he has. Oh yeah, this is one of the best parts of the speed run. Isn't this where you get the keys? Yeah, you get the keys.
Yeah.
So when you start off in the building world or apartment world 1, you have to turn around and go towards the camera to the one door that's placed behind you, so
Yeah.
you can get the apartment or the superintendent's keys. So you can get the apartment keys, and then you can go to every apartment in the apartment world. But if you just go through apartment world without turning around, then you wouldn't have any keys at all, and you'd just be like fumbling about, and then you just go all the way back. Hi, Walter. You go all the way back to the beginning and go, oh, there's keys here? And you would easily waste a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced it's a troll by the developers, because they kind of point you in a direction, say go, and
Yes.
the one thing you need is behind you.
Yeah. It's like I say a lot of times, one of my favorite things is placing an item behind the starting point for a character, because I think that's like the least looked place. So this is a great example of that.
Yeah.
Put the key right behind Henry, and then let him just run around the apartment and get lost and find out that the key was behind him the whole time.
Yeah, we got all these keys. We only need one room, and this is where the tech that Axe was talking about earlier comes into play. These leeches, you would have to step on all of them, but because I'm holding right-click without a weapon equipped, and I've never equipped a weapon, I can actually just walk through the leeches without actually breaking any of them, which you'll see. I'll probably end up breaking one on the way out, because that happens for some reason. But it saves so much time trying to get to that note in the fridge. So much time.
Yeah, because Henry's like, he reaches for the refrigerator, looks down, sees a leech, goes, ew, stomps it. Resets his position, reaches for the refrigerator, looks down, sees a leech, goes, ew, stomps it again, and stomps all of them
Times
until
12.
you get... Yeah, until all the leeches are dead. So it's a time save to just not have a weapon equipped. And I think there's one more use of what we used to call the forbidden leech magic.
Yes.
And then
One
after
more
that, you can
use.
equip whatever you want.
In Subway 2. Also, we've got to post to ourselves, because this is our apartment door. Believe it or not. We can actually leave a note.
302. We slide that note underneath our own door so we can go back into the hole to our apartment and get on the other side of the door and read our mail.
Yeah, post in your own post. Don't know what the world's come into. So we're going to go grab that right now. Hopefully we're going to grab it first time, but sometimes you can grab this little note that's in front of it. No, I got the red note first time. Nice.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's easy to accidentally get any of those other notes because there's no precise way to move the mouse to look at what you want to pick up. And that lets us know that Eileen's room keys are strangely right next to our bed.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, how'd that get there? Henry, you have some questions that need answering.
Well, at this point, casually, because you wouldn't have been skipping cutscenes, you've also peeked through a hole into her apartment a couple of times as well. So,
Yeah,
it's a bit sus.
maybe more than a couple of times.
Actually, I think Eileen might have discovered us. Yeah. See, she's livid.
She found the hole!
That scream is always going to happen, so I just love to queue up a joke just in time for it every time. It never gets old.
And we get the succubus placard from the under the door there. Every ghost we've encountered, or every person we've encountered that turned into a ghost, has led us to a placard that we need to open a new hole in our apartment.
Yeah.
Hers was the succubus placard. No, hers was...
Oh, don't ask me to name them.
Oh, okay.
There's like pride, envy, glutton, I think.
want to say either her or... oh, gosh.
Don't worry
Cynthia's.
about it. Explain
I
hospital.
think Cynthia's is the succubus. Hospital, right. Okay, anyway. Back to the game. Hospital is a one-time visit. You don't go to the hospital 2 because there is no hospital 2. This is just where Eileen happens to be. And we need to go and save her. But hospital has a very unique hallway. It's a hallway with, was it 22 rooms? And
yeah, I think 11 each side.
yeah, and she's in one of these rooms, and in one of the other rooms is a key to that room. So we're gonna go into each room one by one, try to find Eileen's room key, not get hit by wheelchairs, and also find Eileen. It could be any number of these rooms. These are all randomly placed. Like
Yeah,
the
they're random
types of
every
rooms
time.
are consistent, but where they're placed is always random. So this is like one of the really fun parts of the speed run, because if you get a good room L1 R1, which is left one, right one, then you get the key and Eileen and just get to go. But if you're at like L11 R11, then you have to go all the way to the end of the hallway to save Eileen.
Yeah, you're having
and
a
your
bad
run is
time.
basically over. Your run is basically over, even though there's some other
how far
places
we're
you
up
can
now, but I think it's like 5 or 6, so it's not good.
Yeah. But since this is just a casual speed run for a marathon, we're not going to reset if we don't get it right. It's already too far ahead anyway.
Oh, right, that's
there we
the
go.
first room we need.
That's the key. Also, if a room is locked in that hallway, then you know that's Eileen's room. So then you can just go to whichever other room.
Find the key room first, because then you can use the key on the doors like this, and you don't actually enter the room.
It saves you the loading screen. Man, she's all the way in the back.
Yeah, knew it. R11. Wonderful.
So you could have the best possible start ever, and then just have it like dunked on in the hospital.
Yeah, I mean, it like overall, I would say it only adds like maybe, I don't know, half a minute to maybe a minute.
Eileen,
so you can make up for it, but it's difficult, especially if you get like an L1 R1 on your splits. You know, it's kind of upsetting. Come on.
So the thing about Eileen is that you have to make sure she's within range of you before you transition from room to room. Yes. Whereas Cynthia could be literally anywhere, Eileen has to be within like a 6-foot radius of you, I would guess, just as a measurement.
It's definitely shorter than you think it is.
Yeah, it does seem to vary. Like when you go down the stairs in the hospital after you save Eileen, waiting to see her shadow is a good indicator that she's close enough.
Yeah.
And this is where a lot of people have issues with the game, where you have to escort Eileen. But personally, my second opinion of this speedrun is that Eileen is a warrior, because you can equip her with a purse, a chain, a riding crop. What was it? What else does she get? She gets a lot of weapons.
She get like no, the mace is Silent Hill 3, isn't it?
Yeah. She gets weapons, and she will fight for you. She will defend her life if you arm her, and it's amazing. Like, one time she attacked a ghost, and I was trying to run away from the ghost, but she turned and attacked it. I was like, you know what, Eileen? We're going to take care of this ghost.
Come on.
But since we're not going to equip her with anything,
God,
she does get kind of stuck. She doesn't really move around the enemies very well. So you're going to have to manipulate the enemies left and right, try to get them to swing the wrong direction, and then move Eileen in the right direction.
Yeah, and it usually works. Yeah,
it usually works. It usually works.
Now, also, these spiral staircases, there are lots of these, and we run down them in a very specific way. If Eileen hits the inner kind of rail, she will do this weird sidestep that takes a couple of seconds. So you really have to run in this kind of precise way where I'm not actually looking at Henry at all. I'm just watching Eileen's feet and adjusting accordingly. So that's why I kind of veer off to the right every so often to make sure that she doesn't get too close to the rail.
Yeah, because if you run straight ahead and let her drag behind, she'll stop and go, don't go too fast, and wait for you to come back to pick her back up. So you have to keep a min-max distance from her so she always moves with you.
Yeah.
And again, it's just one of the other challenges of a speedrun. And when you approach a speedrun, you don't, like I say, you don't approach it with beating the game quickly. You approach it with how to manipulate the game's mechanics in a favorable way. Hey, George.
That one's George, is it?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
There's Grandma, there's George. Everyone else has no names. They are not people. But George, he's got kids and a wife. He's got a great career. Everyone loves George.
Love it. What we're going to do here is we're going to outrun Eileen. We know that Eileen is safe in this corridor, so we're going to leave her in this corridor. This is the only other use of that arcane leech magic we were talking about as well. From now on, we'll be equipping weapons shortly, actually. Not quite yet. But we're leaving Eileen in that corridor. Eileen, of course, as you learn in a cutscene, cannot actually go through the hole with you.
Yeah, she doesn't even see the hole. She just sees you like
face through the wall.
Yeah, like platform 33 3/4 right into the wall.
Yeah, I didn't mean to pick that up. Oh well.
Like she thinks you're in Hogwarts, and she's over there in some kind of hell.
Yeah, like where did you go? But we're back now, and we're about to do a kind of precise bit of movement that will keep her in a certain room. Away from enemies, because Eileen will move slower depending on how much damage she has taken. So we're kind of limiting the amount of damage that she takes.
And note the hair on the ground. Cynthia died in the subway, and now she returns as a ghost. And she's one of the most terrifying ghosts in the Silent Hill game, because she can really mess you up. And she's really hard to knock down for some reason. Maybe not so later, but the first time I meet her, she always gets right back up after I knock her down.
I think she's the hardest one to down. You may have noticed I was listening for a sound there. That was the despawn sound for Cynthia, so it always makes sense if you can to wait for that despawn sound, because it means that Eileen is in the room on her own and won't be getting kind of brutalized by Cynthia while you leave her there. But the problem is you can wait 15 seconds for that despawn. I've done it.
It only occurs to me now that we haven't explained why Eileen getting damaged is a bad thing.
Well, because it's Eileen, and we've got to protect Eileen.
Yes. I love that you said that. Thank you very much. But
I'm
also
conditioned now.
But of course, there's also a practical reason besides emotions. The more damage she takes, then the more often she can become possessed. She'll stop and she'll mutter to herself, or she'll start sounding like a child. Sometimes she'll start hitting herself, and if you equip her, sometimes she'll start hitting you. So it's really bad for a speed run to have her in a state of possession, because she won't be controllable. The only way to knock her out of possession is to literally hit her. So it's just bad all around.
Yeah. Having said all the lovely things we've just said about Eileen, if later on in the game I need to hit her because she's talking, I will. And I apologize in advance if that's the case.
It's a necessary thing. It's fine.
Yeah. So we're running around Subway 2 doing our business, solving puzzles, etc. while we know that Eileen is in a fairly safe spot. We actually just washed a coin that we got, and we're going to use it on a vending machine in a moment.
We washed it with haunted water.
We did. I don't know what... Someone needs to explain to Konami. You don't wash a coin to make a coin. That's not money laundering.
That's not money laundering.
Sorry, I had to make the joke.
Oh, man. I didn't see that one coming. That hit me. That was a critical hit. It really was. My brain took damage.
So this is Warmen 2. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be killing some of the Warmen. Very, very cathartic. 1, 2, 5. We're going to kill 2 of the Warmen. There are only 4 Warmen on this section. But we need to bring Eileen past here in a little bit. So that is why we're going away. One more at the end. That was fairly clean. That was good.
You can also not kill the wallmen and
you
just
can
YOLO
absolutely
it.
just YOLO it if you want to. This is pretty much a safety strat. I'm sure the world record probably doesn't do it.
Yeah, it's a safety strat because you really don't want to sabotage anything at this point.
I am not good at wallmen. And here's Eileen.
Hi, Eileen. See, I also call her a warrior because she has, a bad leg, she has a broken arm, and she's still, keeping up with Henry as best she can.
Yeah, she was supposed to be going to a party. This is not the night that she wanted.
Not at all. Not at all. It's a different kind of magical night. She didn't want this.
Yeah, she's literally rolling with it, so fair play. Anyway, this is the murder scene key, which unlocks the room where we found...
I wonder if Joseph is still alive.
Yeah, me too. Come on, let's go.
Who's Joseph?
Yeah, who's Joseph, right?
Yeah,
he's a lore character that you're not going to see at all.
Hey, my name is Henry. Who's this Joseph fella? I'm saving your life from this hellscape, and you're talking about a guy named Joseph? What's going on? But yeah, Joseph Schreiber, I guess we can go ahead and talk about him real quick, is that he's one of the victims that Walter kills, and he's not the receiver of wisdom, he's the... he has a title where he basically accumulates knowledge and he grants it to Henry. Henry is the receiver of wisdom.
Every victim kind of has a title, or at least the named ones do.
And so Joseph, he basically investigates and figures everything out, puts it all down on paper, and all the little red scraps of paper that you read from under your door and in other locations of your apartment are basically scribbles from Joseph, and you piece together what's going on through this information. And his whole role in the sacraments, the 21 sacraments, is to learn it all and still die.
Oh my god!
But give it to somebody else, you, to be able to survive. And Eileen's, hers is the Mother Reborn. So she's intended to die in order to be sacrificed and create the demon sacrifice, or the demon summoning. Sorry, not sacrifice. Because Walter, he never learned where babies came from. So he thinks that the room that Henry lives in is his mother. Walter thinks that the room is his mother. That's the basic plot of this whole game. And he's using demon magic to bring his mom back somehow.
That's the, what is it called? The Cliff Notes version?
Cliff Notes? Yeah. That's the Cliff Notes version of what's going on.
Kid thinks his room is his mom, learns of ancient ritual to, kill 21 people to get what he wanted, is doing said ritual, and we're kind of in the middle of it. Also, fun fact, Joseph was also the previous occupant, or one of the previous occupants of our apartment.
Yeah.
He was actually in the room that we were in, so... Come on. There we go.
Come on, take Cynthia with you. Have a party. Like, every good RPG has a party of 3 characters.
That's true. And there was also that sword that we were talking about earlier, that free one. We've got to leave it.
Gotta leave it, because we need to go into Forest World 2 with only 2 items in our inventory.
Eileen is already a bit beat up. I don't know why.
Yeah, she is.
I think she got clocked by the wallmen.
She did get clocked by the wallmen, but I didn't think she got clocked that hard.
I think maybe Cynthia got a hit in on the train as well. It's not great. I mean, like, it's certainly never going to be a PB if she's like this, but we can finish the game.
Right. Also, the state of Eileen determines the kind of ending you get.
Oh, there we go.
So, if she's really beat up, she basically leaps headfirst into the sacrificial pool, and basically kills herself. But if she's healthy,
come on,
you have a bullet. You have a bullet.
Is this force?
Oh well. I couldn't do it.
I can't do it. What did Solid Snake say? No, I can't do it.
I can't do it.
No, I can't do it. Well, good on you, Henry. Don't shoot Eileen.
Well, to be fair to her, even though she had that momentary episode there, she did start running again, so that's good, actually. I forgot to pick up the torch. Well done.
Henry's looking at that torch, says, nuh-uh. Not doing it. I don't like torches.
So she should...
So yeah.
She is.
So with Forest World 2, you need to have 8 slots open, which means you have to, because you have 5 pieces of a doll you have to collect, 2 arms, 2 legs, and 1 head. You have to get a talisman, and you have to get a pickaxe of despair. Is that part of it?
You don't have to get the pickaxe.
No,
of
the
despair.
silver bullet. The
yeah,
silver
you have
bullet.
to get the silver bullet. You don't need the pickaxe of despair. The pickaxe of despair is the strongest melee weapon in the game. We pick it up because it makes the final boss faster, but like technically you could go do the final boss without it. It's just you'll be doing it much slower. So
yeah, and it's still a toss-up whether it's faster because of how Walter reacts and how you position him and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
From this point on, we try to leave Eileen in that central area with the burned-out building because there are no enemies there, and she's safe there.
A nice big square room, so I often call it the Eileen crush because we always run faster than her to get out of it, so that she's stuck in there. Just like,
yeah. She's like, "Where are you going?" And then you just outrun her. She's like, "Fine, I'll wait for you to come back."
Also, I can hear my wife downstairs. She's doing the awoos whenever I stream. And
I thought I heard something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but with this torch, we have to light the torch with fire so we can look in the well to find the doll pieces that are only located in the wells in the 4 different sections of the forest world.
Also, if you're very attentive, you might have noticed that I'm actually doing some equipping as I move through the doors. That's because you cancel the animation while you open a door. So I've loaded my gun with a silver bullet and I'm back with the torch without losing any time.
Oh yeah, that's how you do that. Okay.
Yeah.
It's one of those other small speed tricks I refuse to do. Also, right here in this little playground on Henry's right, that's the chain that you can give to Eileen so she can do some Ghost Rider cosplay.
Yeah.
So she can unleash vengeance.
I think that's a new game plus option, but because we load from a save, we don't pick up any of those weapons anyway. Just you wouldn't anyway because it would waste time, like actively waste time, but also we wouldn't because it would make it would be
but
different.
If you're playing casually, go for it.
Yeah,
please go for it. It's awesome. Eileen turns into a warrior and it's amazing. Like in other survival horror games, a woman like Eileen with a broken arm and leg would probably be carried on Henry's back. And that would be how you move through the game. Similar to like Emma Emmerich in Metal Gear Solid 2, how she can't walk very well, so you can carry her around. But no, Eileen she's just like, nah, I'm going to stand on my own 2 feet. I'm going to whip this chain at these ghosts. I don't care at all. I will fight for my life. Let's do this, Henry. We are a team. It's amazing.
Yes. It's our job to remind people of that every time they play this game and go, oh,
Absolutely.
Eileen's the worst.
No, she's the best. She is the best.
She tries, okay? And, you know, she will take what you give her and use it as a weapon.
Like, if this was a movie, you know, and, like, she picks up a chain and she's already wounded and everyone's like, oh, man, she's so bad. She's so great, you know? Because she's wielding a chain. It's awesome. Anyway, enough Eileen simping, I guess.
Never.
Never. So if you play casually, though, if it's too much time or too little time to move from torchlight to well, there is an oil can inside Henry's apartment that you can dunk the torch into to extend the length of time the fire will be on the torch.
Yeah.
Which is pretty useful. But it's one of those things where you have to kind of look at the oil can and think, maybe? Because there's no other indication that you could actually use that oil can.
It's not clearly signposted, but yeah, it's definitely worth doing when you play casually for the first time, because you do not get a lot of time with the lit torch. Even if you don't get hit or don't hit an enemy with the torch, it will still burn out within like 2 rooms.
Yeah.
So, but it's fine for the speedrun because we know what we're doing and it's all kind of like mapped out.
This is actually a really cozy part of the run because you're just basically running to all 4 corners of the forest world and nothing really stops you. You're just kind of going by memory. This is the most autopilot section of the game. And then Building World 2 has the first Eileen skip? No, Water Prison. Sorry, Water Prison.
Technically, yeah, Water Prison does.
Water Prison and then Building Zone, Building World.
Building World.
Was Sonic the Hedgehog?
It always sounds like
Zone,
Disney.
Act 1.
Whenever someone's talking about this game, it's like Building World, Apartment World. It's like, these are not good sounding worlds.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing magical or cool about this stuff.
I'm actually going to pick up this health and burn it immediately, just because it's there, so I may as well, because it's a marathon.
Safety med. Yep.
Yeah.
You normally wouldn't do that, but it is like right on the way, and it just takes 2 seconds.
It's like, in terms of, you don't even have to really deviate, it's just you go left for a bit.
And honestly, if you are 2 seconds away from the world record because you did that, just tell yourself you got the world record. You did it. Congratulations.
Well, we've collected all 5 pieces of Exodia, so now we're going to amass them on the doll.
Ah, yes.
Been making
This
that
is the
joke for a
fastest
year and a month.
Yu-Gi-Oh game you've ever played.
We're actually going to wait to make sure Eileen is behind us. Because
Come on, Eileen. There you are.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, saw it in chat.
Eventually.
Had to put it to song. There you go.
There you go.
You run into that candle to make sure Eileen goes down the stairs correctly.
Oh my goodness. Wow. There we go. Yeah, sometimes it might seem that my movement is a bit weird sometimes, but it's actually based around trying to make Eileen go exactly where I need to, and there are things you can do, because she does get stuck on some bits, like her pathing is not like amazing. So sometimes you will kind of run into walls intentionally because it makes her move forward. It's hard to explain.
What Garlips is trying to say humbly is that he is a master of Silent Hill 4 movement, and there's not a single wasted input.
Oh, by the way, my splits tell me I'm 40 seconds behind my PB, so yeah, I'm a genius at this game. Anyway, I love spiral staircases, can't get enough of them.
Really? Me too. They're great. My grandmother had one. It was amazing. It always felt like a video game transition, no matter what. Just kunk, 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 kunk. There's the door.
Give her a buff.
Ideally, you want to go to the door when you get to the door. The 2 seconds he wasted running past the door, that's just what is it? Manipulation?
Yeah, master of movement.
RNG manipulation. Yeah, that's what it is.
Now Eileen is above us because Eileen can't use ladders because she's in high heels and she also has a broken arm. We must be reasonable here. So she has to take the long way around. What we're going to do is we're going to kill some bugs while we wait, because the bugs actually just slow down Eileen if they hit her. There we go.
Plus, we don't like bugs. And Walter takes his time. You can see him up there just strolling after Eileen. But Eileen is faster than Walter, even wounded. Eileen, truly the warrior. Peak physical specimen.
She should be just coming up behind me, actually. There she is.
Please, don't leave me alone.
I'm not. taking point.
In this case, Henry is running for his life as Eileen's gaining on him.
Look at that bug.
The bug wants to join the party.
Yeah, he's not harming, he's not helping, he's just there.
The bug wants to be like your DPS. Come on, man, I can support.
He knows that if he goes back up there, Walter's going to open fire on him. That's what it is.
Yeah, he's just trying to get away. Look, dude, there's a crazy man up there. He's got a chainsaw and a gun. And he's killing bugs left and right. No,
Okay,
not the rabbit.
This is Eileen skip 1. Basically what we're doing is we're manipulating Eileen in such a way so that... Oh, let me get this right. When we knock into her, we will
It's
kind
so
of like
damp and gross here.
leave the room
Judgmental
without
much,
her.
Eileen?
There we go.
There you go. Now Eileen is stuck in that room. If you were to just leave the room with Eileen following behind you, she'd come with you, because there's really no way for her to be far enough away from you in that room. But if you like shoulder tackle her just a little bit and then run to the door, for some reason the game just says, wait a second, oh well, he's gone now. Oh well. And then Eileen is safely left behind in that room.
You know how we said that like the distance between you and Eileen is really important, and sometimes you really wanted to come through with you into a room, but she's just outside of that distance? That goes both ways, and sometimes she will follow you when you really don't want her to. So that skip is basically based around making sure that happens.
Yeah, and of course we can move much faster on our own, so we don't have to worry about keeping up with her, and that saves a lot of time.
Yeah. So we've just picked up a shirt that was, well, the guy who died, Andrew DeSalvo, he was wearing that shirt, and he is a ghost, but he won't show up until we actually go home and wash this shirt at home, so we have to go and do that now.
Yeah, he wants you to do his laundry so bad that he's going to play hide and seek until you do it. So, and he will not reveal himself. He's a very good hider.
He also has like a supersonic speedball attack. He like curls up into a ball and flies at you.
He's a big Sonic the Hedgehog fan, and he's
quite
good, he's good at hiding. Yeah.
My bedroom's haunted, by the way. But that's okay.
Good. But there's blood in your bathtub, you know. Silver linings. So the shirt we washed in the blood in our bathtub, and that revealed a message written in wax, so you could read it, and that gives you some sort of background, something with the water prison, I don't remember anymore. But because you read that, Andrew DeSalvo shows up, and we have to take care of him. And the only way that we know how, with a gun.
Yes. This is my this is what I refer to as getting the ghost killing kit. It's the sword, and we already have the gun with the silver bullet in as well, and that's all we're going to need.
The Ghostbusters had it wrong all this time.
They did.
All these elaborate traps and power fluctuations and whatever the heck. But all you needed was a gun and a sword, just like olden times.
The movie would have been a lot different, but maybe, I don't know, more fun. We're also taking some damage here on purpose so that Eileen doesn't take it.
Yeah, which might not matter so much now because she looks like she's already kind of bloody, but yeah, see, trapped. No generators, no nuclear reactors. It's all done. It's clean, simple, primitive.
Yeah. Where are you?
Just waving hello. Like, hey. Well, y'all going downstairs? That's cool. Say hi to everybody down there. We're just partying in this hallway.
If you don't take a very particular path through them and around them as well, if you're too far ahead, Eileen will cut across them and she'll run into them as well. So it all kind of like is based around just trying to clear a path through and making sure she takes that path.
Yeah. You're basically taking 2 points and keeping them as close together so you can move as fast as possible with both points together. Because if you did run through and then Eileen got hit by like another number of those worms, then she'd just be held up that much longer coming down the stairs.
Yeah.
So, and that's what
do I
do it
want
for
to
her.
try my luck, Axe? Because you remember this water room is it's caused some real trouble for us in the past.
It's my
but I've
favorite
been
room.
YOLOing it recently and it's worked.
Oh well, if you believe in yourself, do it. Parappa the Rapper says you gotta believe. So do it.
All right, let's try and do it. Let's try and YOLO it. I'll try and save it if it doesn't.
What I would do is I would just shoot all of them to death. But you can YOLO this, move them all into one side of the room so Eileen comes from behind safely and gets close enough that the door, you can go through the door. I'm not seeing it though.
Oh, she's getting hit real bad.
Yeah, it's not working out. Eileen's gonna prove that you can only live once.
I really should have shot them. Oh well.
You still can.
I can't guarantee they'll all be together.
I can guarantee that Eileen will get knocked the heck out.
I think I just saw her, didn't I?
Oh, they all look the same, really?
Actually, I think she's on the floor.
Yeah, she's probably, yeah, she's doing
Right,
really
okay,
bad.
this is bad news, but we can save it. We can save it.
Now you might notice they're actually smaller than average. The other ones are like at least like 50% bigger. Ooh, this isn't looking good at all.
No, this is not good.
Normally, if
This
you bunch them
usually
up
never
for some
happens.
reason, of course. Normally, if you bunch them all up, then one pistol can actually shoot through all of them and deal damage to all of them at once. So you can just kill them, and then you can move on.
We're gonna have to run like defense. Let me think about this real quick. I think there are some healing items nearby.
For Henry.
Yeah.
There are no healing items for Eileen. There was like a sort of an urban legend or myth where if you use what's called a holy candle, you can light the holy candle and it dispels the spirits or ghosts in your room. If you put one next to Eileen in this world, then she'll like become less possessed. But what happens is that it's just superficial. It removes the blood that's on her body for the room that you're in, but she's still just as possessed as she ever was.
I am never YOLOing that room in my life ever again.
There you go. Should have listened to me, like always.
Right. There's a save. There's a health in here. We're going to use that. We're going to equip the pickaxe. We're in damage control mode now.
Also, look how Henry runs with the pickaxe. He's so happy.
It is very jaunty, isn't it?
He's like, yeah, I got a pickaxe. You guys see this? This is awesome. I've always wanted to hold one of these.
It is very hi-ho, hi-ho.
He's off to work.
Tell me about it. This
He goes.
room. Jeez. I dread to think what state Eileen's going to be in.
Oh, she is in the worst state.
Yeah, it's not good.
Just insert your most hated United States state here. That's what state she's in.
Okay, we're going to do this
Yeah,
spin
you got
attack.
it. You got it. Spin to win. Perfect. Wait, I think Eileen was in there. No, she wasn't. I'm just joking.
Oh my god.
Oh, I don't... You know what? Can you just get out of there now? Maybe?
Maybe.
Eileen's with you.
Oh. This is so cursed.
Yeah, the run, it is cursed.
I would have quit if this wasn't a marathon. But you know
Yeah.
what? We're going to bring it home.
That's right. We have to bring it home. This is a no reset run.
To be honest, I could have died there a couple of times, so I'm glad.
Yeah.
Eileen's not looking so good, though.
I mean, she looks like she matches to the environment, so
That's true.
she's
Thankfully-
appropriately dressed for this party.
We don't really have to worry about her movement so much anymore. I mean, I'm headed for the worst ending, but, you know, whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah.
She'll be, like, diving into that pool like an Olympic athlete.
Oh, yes. She's gonna just thirstily jump straight into the event horizon. She's gonna Michael Jordan tongue hanging out, slam dunk that ball and kill herself. It's
Yeah.
gonna be amazing.
It's going to be a world record, all right, for how quickly Eileen goes into the pool. Anyway, there's another health item in here, so I'm going to grab this one too, and we should
It's
be
for
okay.
Henry only.
Yeah, of course.
Just chug it, right? And don't break eye contact with Eileen the entire time. Like, you could have had some of this,
Oh
but
my
I'm not
goodness.
giving it to you. Oh no! Richard's
it's all right.
taking her out on a date.
We'll just wait for it. It's fine.
She's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, you're good. So you may have seen Richard Braintree for like a quarter of a second there. He was electrocuted in a chair, and that's how he got killed. So now he walks around like all the time.
Yeah.
And he will, I think that's the only time we ever see him, though, in this run, because we skipped through the rest of this with the Eileen skip.
Yeah. Pretty much. So that's the
So-
bonk. And yes. Oh, thank goodness. Finally starting to work for me.
Yeah.
There's also a health drink I didn't pick up the first time through in here. I'm also going to pick that up because you know what? I'm not taking any chances now.
Yeah. All right, now we just want to finish.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, what we're doing is Eileen skip. Basically, there is a gate that Eileen is behind, and what will happen is when we move from one room to another, she will phase through that gate. She will essentially... You create your own lore reason for how she gets through it. Maybe she can phase through walls, maybe she's really good at climbing ground.
We've all seen Terminator 2. That's how she gets through it.
Exactly. So we just wait for her here, and she arrives. Don't ask me how it works, but it does. And we're thankful for it because it cuts out a huge section of building too.
Yeah, because otherwise you'd have to take her down that elevator, and there's a lot of combat and a lot of just... They call it the heck hallway for a reason.
You've got to collect tons of items and return them to the correct place. It's a bit of a nightmare. So
yeah, you've basically skipped the 90% of this entire section, all of the puzzle, all of the combat, except for one of the two bosses in the game.
She is looking rough.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, Eileen. I failed.
There's another skip you can do here if you can open your ears up and pay attention to where Eileen is by sound.
Yes, it should
If
be
she's
fine.
close enough to the end of the stairs and that chain link wall, then you can actually sort of zip her through the door with you when you go through.
I think I've done it. Nope. Everything's
she's
going
still
wrong
in the other
today. Because she's close enough, even though this wall is here, she will phase through it as well. But not today.
She's tired.
I'm tired. Do you know how hard
the
it is
best
to run
weapon
in
in the
jeans?
Best weapon in the game. It's got that axe.
Yeah. Right, 48.90. Okay. We can do this. I'm shaken, but I'm gonna bring it home.
I believe in you.
So now we're going to go down the stairs instead of up, and we've got all these bugs. It's just random whether they're going to hit you, whether they're going to hit Eileen. We kind of want more of them to hit me than Eileen, because it will mean that Eileen comes down the stairs faster.
This is also another good spot for donations if we have any.
Yeah.
Right on. So
No
we're heading
problem.
we're heading towards the first boss of the game, the One Truth. I guess we can explain some of that while we're here.
Yeah.
It's basically nine portraits. It's 9 wallmen hanging suspended from a ceiling. One of them is the boss. The other are just...
There are 12, I think.
There are 500 wallmen hanging from the ceiling, and one of them is the One Truth. If you hit the one, then they all take damage. If you hit one and no others take damage, then it's the fake one. It's randomized which one is which. There is a fun trick that doesn't save time in any way, shape, or form, but if you equip Eileen with a chain weapon or higher, she'll actually go straight to the One Truth and identify it for you. But it still takes way too long for that to happen.
Given
So we
how
don't do
many
that.
bad One Truths I've had this week, I'm kind of tempted. But I don't have anything with me.
You don't have anything. You'll have to give her the pickaxe, but she refuses to use that as a weapon.
She is super slow because of all that damage done to her, so we just have to wait for her. We'll probably
But
end
at
up
least
killing
she's
all
not
the
doing
bugs.
the one girl talent show so far. Ah, there. No, she just says my leg hurts. It's fine.
There we go.
That's the truth. That's the real
Alright.
One Truth.
So, hoping we find the One Truth really quickly.
This can be real annoying. At least we don't have to worry about hurting Eileen. Okay, so it's
Okay.
not those two.
Then
That's a good
come
start.
over here, aim down the side.
Sometimes they also slow down in reverse order of falling. It's not that one.
I'm gonna go to the other end and try my luck on these two first.
Not that one. Not that one.
Ow.
So if you're doing really good world record wise, this is the point where you would either lose time or save time.
They also like to not come down where you're standing as well, because they're just cheats.
He's waiting for us, guys. We can't just go down. He's got a gun. Ooh, one of
It's
those.
one of these three. It's one of these three for certain.
And reverse order.
Ah, you guys.
Oh, a very
It's the
important
one on the
trick.
end.
And in Silent Hill 4 is that when you do a charge weapon attack, you have invulnerability frames for the entire duration of the attack. This is extremely useful and why the axe is the best weapon in the game, because you have a long wind-up, long hit, and vulnerable the entire time.
Yeah.
It does moderate plus damage. You know, it's good. It's good damage. It's the weapon that most of us casually would end up favoring, I
Oh no,
think.
please don't go up.
He's gone.
Oh, goodness.
Bye. Oh wait, I'm coming back. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm coming back.
Eat it.
What are you, Chris Redfield? Eat it! Suck it! Eat it!
Shava.
Shava! Chris!
Other such Chris Redfield phrases.
Yeah. So this is the final spiral
Oh my god,
staircase.
Eileen, I'm so sorry.
Oh man, all I can see is her cast. That's it.
Yeah, she's usually never this bad. Oh my goodness.
I think you hit her with the axe. I'm not sure. I know she got beefed once by the wall man.
We are limping home, and apologies, we're going to be overestimate because of this, but not hopefully just by a few minutes. It's only going to be.
Aren't we the final run of the night? I think we can just take our time.
we can just fill the whole gap, right? Between
Yeah,
this
we
and
can
the
fill the gap
tomorrow's
between
one.
this stream and the next one. Yes, we've been approved. We haven't. At this point, I think it'd be fine if you did carry Eileen, if you could. Just carry her. Give her the handgun, she'll shoot for you, and you just carry her and point her in the right direction.
The one thing I will say is I'm not the best. Look, I'm a very mediocre speedrunner, as literally evidenced today. But the one thing I will say is I was faced with a situation I thought I wasn't going to get out of, and I managed to pull it back. So I'm taking this as a win. It's a win for me.
Well, what he's humbly saying is that every action today is a carefully calculated move for maximum entertainment value. Also, it seems like her power is greater than yours. She does not care about that axe. She's going to have her say whether you care or
can't
not.
knock her out of that, I don't think. Well, clearly. In fact, it hurt to be around her.
Yeah. Sometimes
It's alright
it does.
though. I didn't have to use that extra health in the. Oh, excellent! Picking up the pace. We love it.
Yeah. She was what was it? Inspiring courage. That's what she was doing. She was using that bardic skill. Alright, so this is Joseph Schreiber's version of Room 302, which is a really cool room because it's white and full of holy candles. This is where you would glean all the truth and put all the story plot points together before the final dungeon, final boss fight.
Pretty heavy lore dump in here, and then you have a cutscene as well where he kind of like underlines things. Also, he's in the ceiling, and it's a real shame I can't show you, but he's in the ceiling upside down.
He's also voiced by the same voice actor who voiced Alucard in Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
There you go.
Which is like one of his 3 roles, which is great. Not that he has few roles, but that he has great voice.
He is, funny story. I played this game upside down and back to front. I mirrored my monitor. And for that cutscene, Joseph was the only person up the right way. It was amazing.
I never thought of that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't even skip the cutscene for that reason.
He's like, what are you guys doing up there?
Yeah.
You're all out of your minds. How are you so crazy you defy physics?
So what we're doing now is we got a pickaxe and we've broken down a wall in our apartment. We found there's actually a room beyond our apartment where Walter has kind of left himself in a real state. And
Walter
he also has our
hangs
house
out.
keys.
Walter hangs out in this room.
He does.
So the question to how did he get locked into his own room while the chains and locks and everything are still on the inside of the room is that Walter never actually physically left the room. He just locked up Henry and then like closed himself up in the wall and did things to himself to bring his spirit out.
Yeah.
Kinda. Also, the best part about this part of the dungeon is you don't have to worry about Eileen anymore.
Whenever anything doesn't make too much sense in Silent Hill, just make like the Aliens meme guy, but instead of aliens, say Otherworld.
Otherworld, exactly. Yeah, don't think too hard about it. Physically seems impossible, but it's great for tension and fear and all that good horror stuff we like. Because nothing's scarier than the uncertain. Nothing.
That's true. That's facts.
Not even burping nurses with a great secret elbow attack.
I'm so happy because this section, I have an extra health with me. So, because everything has gone wrong today. Pretty much everything. I'm really looking forward to the final boss and how wrong that can go. But at least I've got a health with me.
Well, you can do like I do and just accidentally use an ampoule at the boss with full health.
Oh,
Dad?
Cool
Dad?
fact, by the way, we're going to get a free full heal before the final boss anyway, so...
That's true. But even with that, I still use the ampoule with full health by accident. So it's like, I think that was my hard mode kill everything run. So I really wanted to have that ampoule. So what we're doing here, though, is we're visiting 6 rooms that have some impact on Walter's... sorry, not 6 rooms. 6 places that have impact on Walter's memory. And these hanged, bound men are Walter, basically. And every time you go up to it and activate it, some snippet of Walter's memory will be played, and it's his parents arguing about what to do with you and how they shouldn't have had a baby and they have to leave. And it's the reason why Walter thinks the room is his mother is because he's never actually seen his parents. His parents were the room that he was born in, you know?
Yeah. Which is why we were saying earlier, you know, he had a messed up childhood, but it doesn't justify 20 plus 19 murders.
19, yeah, it doesn't. 19 murders and 2 attempted.
Yeah, 2 attempted.
18 murders, 1 suicide, 2 attempted. Because he's the 11th sacrament, right?
I would say who's keeping count, but he literally has been throughout the whole game on a wall opposite your front door.
Yeah, he's been very open about how many people he's been killing. So yeah, the reason we don't have to worry about Eileen is because when we go down to the Super Nintendo's room to get the umbilical cord that the Super Nintendo has been keeping in his office for as long as Walter has been alive,
don't ask.
in a box. Yeah, don't ask.
Like I said, the lore in this game is crazy.
Otherworld.
Otherworld.
Eileen just teleports straight to the bottom, and then after you get the umbilical cord out of the Super Nintendo's room, then she's gone. She's gone to go tend to her fate, which will be pretty quick.
The best thing about Apartments 2 is that you do not have to worry about Eileen at all. She's there, but you don't have to worry.
Yeah. Like, she's safe where you leave her, and then she teleports down, and then she teleports to the end of the game, so...
Excuse me.
Yeah, they seemed rather angry at you.
Everyone's super aggressive today. What's going on in Silent Hill?
Yeah, just mad. All of them just angry. Angy. Perhaps they all require a candy bar.
I think they do, but there's just not enough to go around.
No, not even one, really. There's a single candy bar in Silent Hill. There was 1 pizza, and another guy ate that already.
Yeah, and 1 milkshake, but we gave that away.
Yeah.
There is a bottle of wine in your fridge, but we don't.
Nobody knows how to open it, so they just beat it on things until it breaks.
I also forgot to equip my pickaxe, which is wonderful. So I've got to do it now. Oh! I got hit while equipping my pickaxe, and that cancelled the animation. That's amazing. That's never happened to me before. Alright, so this is the final boss. Time will be when
that Walter
we
is
deliver
gone.
the final hit. The final hit will be Walter going "Arr!" in a really kind of like specific noise. So that's time. Before we can attack the boss, because he's invincible, we have to actually use our umbilical cord over here, and then we have to pick up the 8 spears, and put them into this creature here. I think it's called the Conjurer.
It is now. So the umbilical cord you have in a box, and just imagine Henry like making a beeline to that giant monster over there and just mushing it against the body, and that's what makes it weak. So now we can impale it with these spears. Having a lot of room in your inventory is good for this if you want to do it quickly.
Yeah.
But Eileen is just really happy about that pool of blood with the event horizon in it that you just can't stop her. It's like
she's good.
taking a kid to the pool. She's just too excited.
I promise you, even if I did this boss like perfect strats, she'd be going in the pool today.
Yeah,
She's had enough, and I don't blame her.
A really tiring day. This is the demon that Walter is trying to summon. He thinks it's his mother, and that's... Well, I guess we can take a second. Walter, as a child, was in the orphanage over at the water prison, and he was trained to read the 21 sacraments every day in order for the cult that ran the orphanage to have someone perform the ritual to bring
He
the
was
God into
essentially
this world.
brainwashed.
Yeah. So he thinks that his mother is that room, he's going to do the ritual in that room, and this is the actual result, bringing this thing into the real world. So now Henry has to do what he can to take care of it.
There goes Eileen.
As you can see, even if we just like shaved off like 30 frames or whatever, there was just no way we could save her, because we still have to fight Walter, who's all black because he's invincible. But now that we've put all those spears into the boss, he becomes vulnerable. And this is the best amount of damage we can do. He always hops back, so what you want to do is try to get him to hop back into a wall so he doesn't leave your actual attack range.
Yeah.
And then you can just keep hitting him.
Yeah,
But if he pulls that gun
a couple
up,
pistol shots here, but it should be okay.
yeah. If you get that rhythm going, you can do it without taking any damage.
Yeah, I think he's stuck now.
Yeah, he's good and stuck. And that like little swipe he does is very fast, but you can stand outside of that range and hit him with the pickaxe. So this is how the rest of the fight's going to go without any deviation. We can just GG right
And
now.
that's time. Down he
Well
goes.
done.
So we're just going to skip through the credits, and then we'll get our final time in game. It should be about 1:02:30. I make it. There it is. Not
Fantastic.
great. I would have preferred under an hour for sure, but it is what it is. Do you know what? We finished, and that's the most important thing.
We finished, and there were times when we were aching for a 102. So you still
Yeah.
did proficiently. How about that?
I'll take it.
Get
Effective.
your GGs in chat. This has been an absolutely fantastic marathon, even though things went, let's say, a little bit suboptimal at times.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
that is the last run